You get pulled over and you're like, oh no, we got pulled over for weed in Texas. This is not like getting pulled over for weed in California.
Nope. And next thing you know, Willie Nelson's in jail.
Yeah, that's how Willie Nelson got arrested, right?
Yeah.
It's hilarious that someone, such a piece of shit, they arrested Willie Nelson. I'd quit my job. So my kids are going hungry. Fuck this.
Agreed.
It's actually pretty scary getting pulled over with weed in California nowadays because the DUI rate has gone crazy. My friend's a lawyer, DUI lawyer, and half of his cases now are just from marijuana. And they have a new test where they do the same kind of thing with your eye, but it like goes left and right real fast if you're high or something like that. And if they feel like they can smell weed, and if you fail this test, you're getting a DUI just like an alcohol DUI.
What are you saying? It goes left to right real quick? What?
So you know when you get pulled over, they do the test with your eye, like follow my hand. Now, I think with alcohol, I think it shoots over, like your eye shoots over to the left or the right really fast, or it's jerky. When you're high, your eye reacts different. It's kind of like a jiggly left and right effect.
There can't be any science to that, is
well,
there?
that's it. Right now,
Find that out, Jamie.
Right now in court, they are fighting just that. If it's like legit test, and they don't have a .08 for weed yet, so they don't really have any laws.
Here's the main problem, and I think you'll agree with me. There's never been a study that shows there's any loss of motor skills.
Nope.
None.
Right. There was one study about driving while smoking weed, and that they found that people actually performed better on the road.
Well, that's the problem. It's not a motor skill thing. It's not like alcohol. Everybody knows that if you drink too much, you don't drive good. Everybody knows that. It's bad for your motor skills. Pot's not. It's simple. So what are they pulling you over for exactly? State of mind? So, because if it doesn't affect your motor skills, like, is it affecting your judgment? Can you prove that people who are intoxicated on marijuana perform less intelligently than people that are intoxicated on caffeine or cigarettes? Because you know they're doing that. A cop could pull a guy over. He could have a cigarette in the corner of his mouth, drinking a cup of coffee, and no one says a word. Those are two drugs interacting with each other. No one has a problem. So it's a state of mind issue?
So, and he could have those drugs and still have a couple of pops at the bar to really amp up all that aggression and still legally drive behind.
But what is intoxication? I mean, isn't intoxication supposed to be a loss of motor skills?
Well,
right, but it's sort of arbitrary because what is intoxication? I mean, the swab test just did not pass in California where they were trying to swab for THC molecules, and it's like, no, that's totally not going to work. You can't do that.
Because someone could just walk through a party and then they get swabbed and they're in trouble. They don't even have any of it in their system. You can't do that.
Like Gino, with what he smokes, I don't know. I don't even know when he's high. I don't know when he's stoned.
Trust me, he's high right now.
I know he is. I know he is.
Trust me.
But you wouldn't know. Like, so many people are high right now, and you wouldn't know.
Right. Of course.
So how can you test for it?
Well, the real problem is, what can you show is bad about being high? I need to see something on your tests where you show me why you should be able to pull people over while you're wearing a gun and shine a light in their face and get them out of their vehicle and make them do things. Like, what is the worst case? You're looking for marijuana. Okay. What's the worst case scenario that's going on with this person that's on the marijuana? Are they performing in any way, shape, or form where they're a danger to the people around them? So if that is true, I think you have to prove that before you put people in a fucking cage.
Yep.
It also varies from person to person, I believe. I know a girl that smokes a joint. She can't drive. She can barely function as a human. But, like J, could do a whole ounce and he'll be fine to drive. As exact same driver as before, if not better. But this girl, no way. I wouldn't even let her in the car if she smoked a joint.
Well, I bet she probably shouldn't be able to drive anyway. How about that? You can't nerf the world, dude.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
but there should be like a test. We've talked about this before, like a marijuana test. Like, you are a 10, meaning you could do marijuana in anything and you're fine, but this person's like rated as 6.
But it's a mind issue. It's not a motor skill issue. This is where the problem lies. It's like, yeah, I guess some people would freak out when they're on pot and they would lose their mind and maybe they shouldn't be intoxicated. But those people probably lose their mind if someone yelled at them.
Right.
You know, like, some people are just weak. Yeah. They just, whatever, the glue that keeps their reality together is just really fragile. And then throw some pot in there or a drink. I mean, how many people do we know that have one drink and like, woo, they get fucking crazy? That's a person whose reality is really shaky.
Right.
But that doesn't have anything to do with me. You know? And the idea that cops look towards that as being the standard is ridiculous.
Right. So
I was going to say, if you have like a festival, like a cops test potheads festival, we would do it. We would fucking do it.
Oh,
Look,
beat that.
for sure, you could have go-karts, set it up. What do you want to do? You want to have fucking one of those mud bogger races?
Yep.
We'll do this. Let us smoke pot. We'll do all that. We'll have jiu-jitsu tournaments where people smoke pot before they do jiu-jitsu.
Get orange cones
Yeah.
and clipboards
Yeah.
and some weed, and people will join.
Fuck yeah.
And we'll learn. We'll know.
Yeah. Well, you need to show some sort of significant issue. Because there's a significant issue with some people, but you're not even stopping those people from taking who knows what the fuck they're taking as far as antidepressants or psychoactive substances prescribed by their doctors. And how many people are on fucking Adderall, man? That's meth. They're taking meth. They're driving around. You know? I know a bunch of adults that take that shit on a daily basis.
Yep.
So what you're dealing with is a lot of different chemicals that could potentially fuck with the mind. Like, why are you concentrating on pot? Like, you haven't shown any reason to concentrate on pot.
You know, the chief of police in New York City recently said that every crime could be tied back to marijuana.
That's hilarious.
That's
Including him.
You know, which is
He's a criminal.
outrageous because it's just trying to give more reach for police officers to pull you over.
That is
and
such a
search you.
crazy, irresponsible thing to say. That's like saying every crime can be tied back to water.
Or parents.
Yeah, we all have 96% water, and it's all crime. Yeah, it's all stupid, man. It really is. It's just something that should be a joke that we look back on from the 1930s. We look back and go, wow, look at the craziness that these people had to deal with back then. But instead, we have to deal with it today in the age of Google and information and scientific studies ad nauseum that all show the same thing, and none of them show any negative effects. None of them. There's like some questions about memory. That's it. But it seems to only affect you while you're on it. When you
Right.
get off of it, it doesn't seem to have any effect on your memory at all.
I mean, the head of the DEA currently said medical marijuana. That's just a joke. Let's get past that. And the head of the DEA before that, when asked by Congress, is marijuana more detrimental than meth? She said she can't answer.
We played that many times on the show because it's so ridiculous.
Oh,
'Cause
that was
this-
Leonhardt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She was,
and this was a senator or something kept grilling her. If you haven't seen it, it's fucking infuriating.
it is.
So what's so infuriating also is that we all know. So
course.
how come these people who are in power aren't in the know?
Because
why are
it's
they
not
hiding?
that they're not in the know. It's that they are the official response, right? So they like that lady's just doing her job. She couldn't just speak out of turn. She couldn't. She would get fired. She couldn't just say whatever she wants, even if she doesn't believe that it should be illegal. She's not going to say that because that's not
No.
her job. Her job is to do whatever the fuck her superiors tell her to do.
And to stay employed and to
Yeah.
make sure her budget doesn't get caught.
Exactly. That's her job. So it's not even her fault. It's the fault of the system that they accept that. The whole thing is preposterous. It doesn't hold up anymore.
Well, this is why we have to play this game of politics. You know, we just want to run a business and a good business, but we have to play this game of
Right.
politics because if we don't, from the bottom, affect change to those people who are at the top, then and let them continue to create these laws, we could just go another 20 years with these bad laws when
Right.
there's no reason for it.
Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I'm just hoping that what's going to go on is that, as you know, from the time that I first got my license to today, how much more open it's been, much more relaxed people are, much more accepting people are of it, and much more accepting amongst grown adults. You just see the attitudes of people, they're changing, and people are understanding how beneficial it is, especially for people who need it medically. Cancer patients, things along those lines, kids with epilepsy, ADD, things along those lines. There's just so many people that benefit from it. It's hopefully it's on its way out. All the laws are on their way out.
Yeah, and you can't just disregard the experience of the masses.
Yeah,
you know
exactly. It's not fair.
No, it's because we're lucky to be in sort of the social media age, which can be annoying at times, but it also allows information to move very quickly.
Yeah.
So if your kid is helped by having fewer seizures, everybody's going to know about that in 24 hours. So you can't really suppress the truth any longer. And even Texas is polling positively.
Yeah.
Florida's going to pass it. You know, Pennsylvania just passed it. It's the dominoes are falling.
The dominoes are falling, and people like Chris Christie are going to be, as Amber Lyon likes to say, on the wrong side of history. Mm-hmm. And that's just, there's no other way around it. It's just, this guy's a fool. He's a fool, and he needs to get off the sugar. Contact Mark Sisson, bitch. He'll straighten you out. Primalblueprint.com.